Hola mis estudiantes. Today we are going to be talking about direct object pronouns. So these are things that we have in English, we use them all the time, but our word order is a little bit different in Spanish. So please make sure that you are paying attention as we go through this PowerPoint. Also make sure that you write down any questions that you have. So make sure you've got your notes out in front of you and let's do it. Alright, we're first going to start in English about direct objects, okay? So what is a direct object? The direct object in a sentence can be a person or thing that receives the action, okay? So the person or thing that receives the action. Let's break that down. So obviously it's going to be a noun. And it is not the person or thing that does the action or is doing the action, okay? That's the subject. So let's look at an example. He has the book. Who is doing the action? He. Therefore, he is our subject. Okay? What does he have? Well, he has the book. Therefore, the book is the direct object. See how that works? Good. All right. So in English, I want you to identify the direct objects by underlining the noun in the sentence. Not the subject, but the direct object. Go ahead and hit pause and see what you do. All right. Let's go through your answers. I read the book. Book in this case is the direct object. He eats a sandwich. Notice sandwich is the direct object. We are doing the homework. Homework is the direct object. You are studying for your test. In this case, test, that's the direct object. And then they read novels. Novels is our direct object. Notice in English, our direct object comes after our verb. Same thing in Spanish. But if I want to replace the direct object with a direct object pronoun, this is where things start to get a little interesting, okay? So the pronouns it or them replace the direct object in the sentence. If it's an item, it or them. Again, think about it in English. I read the book. I could also say I read it. In English, it is our direct object pronoun. I read the books. We could also say I read them. Notice books is plural, therefore them is our plural direct object pronoun in English. It is singular, them is plural. So far, so good? All right. So again, in English, the direct object and the direct object pronoun come after the verb. All right, Here are our direct object pronouns in Spanish. Okay. Notice they must agree with the direct object they are replacing. Masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Again, nothing new that we haven't seen so far. So if it's masculine singular, lo. If it's masculine plural, them. Feminine singular, la. Feminine plural, las. So I want you, this isn't on your notes, but I want you to process through what are our direct object pronouns for those following items. Las maletas, el aeropuerto, la puerta, los trajes de baño. What are our direct object pronouns in Spanish? If you want to write it down, you're more than welcome to, but this is an opportunity for you to process through to make sure you're on the right track. All right, las maletas is going to be las. El aeropuerto is going to be lo. Notice masculine and plural. La puerta would be la, and los trajes de baño would be los, because los trajes is masculine and plural. So las, that would mean them in Spanish. Lo would mean it in English. La would be it, referring to the gate. and los would mean them, referring to the swimsuits. Cool? Cool. Alright, so then let's talk about our word order. This is where things start to get a little tricky. So in Spanish, the direct object pronoun comes before the verb, even though in a regular sentence the direct object comes after the verb. So I have them, and I'm talking about my suitcases. Yo las tengo. Notice it goes after our subject pronoun and before our conjugated verb. We see it, and we're talking about the airport. Nosotros lo vemos. Okay? Notice el aeropuerto is our direct object, so it's going to be lo to say it. And also notice that, where's my cursor here? Nosotros, our subject pronoun, and our verb, conjugated verb, are going to agree. So if it's nosotros form, then our verb is going to conjugate it to agree with our subject. Same thing with our first one. Yo and tango match. He found it, and we're talking about the gate. How do we say gate in Spanish? La puerta, so it's feminine. Él la encontró. And then finally, they have them. Sorry, can you see there? They have them, and we're talking about the swimsuits. Ellos los tienen. Alright. So here's your opportunity to stop and practice. Make sure you're really processing through this practice. If you need to go back and visit your notes, you're more than welcome to, but I want you to process through this. So go ahead and hit pause so you can practice on your own. So you're going to underline the direct object in the sentence and then rewrite the sentence using the direct object pronoun. Oops, okay. So we'll just go through it together. So, ella usa el lápiz. What's our direct object? El lápiz. So, ella lo usa. We're replacing el lápiz, the pencil, with it, which is going to be lo. Yo veo a la maestra. Okay. I see the teacher. Who do I see? The teacher. So, how am I going to say in Spanish, I see her? Process through that. If you need to hit pause, then hit pause. Yo la veo. Notice you're still using your subject pronoun in the same verb as the sentence. We're just replacing a la maestra with la. Alright. So here I want you to tell me the direct object used, or the direct object pronoun in this sentence. So how would you rewrite this to make it I read it, and I'm referring to the book? Yo lo leo. What about número dos? Él come el sándwich. What are we going to replace el sándwich with, and where is it going to go in the sentence? Alright, here's your answer. Él lo come. Número tres. Nosotros hacemos la tarea. Where's la tarea going to go in the sentence? Your answer, nosotros la hacemos. Number four, tú estudias para los exámenes. What do you study for? Tú los estudias. You study for them. And then finally, ellos leen las novelas. What are we going to replace las novelas with? Ellos las leen. Okay. There's more, ladies and gentlemen. Me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, and las are all of your direct object pronouns together. So we're going to start in English. Okay, so this is your whole entire list of direct object pronouns. Me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, and las. Okay? So here we go. Me, which means me. Te means you. Lo and la could be referring to people or items. Okay? So now we're just talking about them in, about people. So lo would be him, la would be her, or either one of those would be you formal. Okay? Nos means us. You all, and we're Spain, is os. Los and las, again, could be referring to people or items. Both of them mean them. And then, you all formal. Okay, so let's try some practice problems. Let's rewrite the sentence with the correct direct object pronoun. Make sure that you fill these in on your notes sheet. So yo veo a usted, I see you, and I'm talking about hombre, a guy. Again, thinking about what we did in that first section, where are we going to put that? First of all, what's our direct object pronoun going to be? If you said lo, you are correct. Yo lo veo. Very good? Okay. Number 2. Ellos ven a nosotros. They see us. Now, where are we going to put this direct object pronoun? Ellos nos ven. And then finally, tú ves a la chica. You see the girl. So how can we say you see her? Tú la ves. Good, good, good. All good things. Alright, so our last thing that we're going to talk about in our note today is using the negative no in a sentence. So remember, in the positive sentence, the direct object pronoun comes right before the verb. In a negative sentence, the direct object pronoun still comes right before the verb. So when we make the sentence negative, we move the word no to the front of the direct object pronoun and then add the verb. So this breaks our normal rule when making verbs negative, or making a sentence negative. So we haven't really talked about that much. So here's some examples to help you out. Yo no cuido a mi hermana. Okay? So notice the no is before our verb. Our verb is cuido, or cuidar, to take care of. So yo no la cuido. Notice the no is before the direct object pronoun. Ella no hace la tarea. She doesn't do her homework. Okay? If we wanted to say she doesn't do it, ella no la hace. The no is before our direct object pronoun. And that's all I have for you guys.